Yes, and welcome. Today we would like to add on and clarify what our friends, the Wisdom Keepers, shared with you yesterday. Now, as it comes to things like using illnesses, viruses, bacterias, whatnot, as a lesson, looking for the lesson in them, that is all well and good, and nothing we are saying is contradicting that. So, the thing to remember and the thing to know is when you do question that, which is good because often when you do have some sort of bug, virus, whatnot, or physical illness, or ailment. She had both of those words right there on the tip of her tongue. So when you do have something of that nature, a lot of times you have a lot of time on your hand to think. So, yes, it is good to kind of go through what is the lesson without, and this is the caveat we will give, without beating yourself up. This is the clarification we felt was necessary to make sure nobody took this as anyway beating themselves up because we do know how human nature is, and it's very easy for a beautiful message to be twisted around. And of course, there are also people who might listen to the message that might not be far enough along on the path, and this is not a judgment. This is just, there are steps, just like you go from kindergarten onward. You don't teach complicated college courses to kindergartners. So that is a thing. And nobody's saying that there is anything less than wonderful with you. We would just like to clarify when you are ill, do not take it personally because you might not have been aware that your thoughts, that you're writing your life with your thoughts. Now, there are some things that were written before, like the people who helped you that came into this incarnation with you. There are things that one might call simplistically contracts and whatnot. And yes, there are lessons to learn. However, sometimes the lesson to learn is very simple, is that you need to love and take care of your physical body because it is your earth suit. This is the only way that source can experience physical feelings, physical sensations. That is the point of you coming to this planet. That is the number one thing, is to just, if you will, send information to source. There was a show called Mork and Minnie back in the day, and Mork would report to people on his home planet about his experiences. Similarly, you guys are Morks. You are these space suits, if you will, or Earth suits, if you will. And sometimes we are mindless about what we are doing. And again, not judgmental, just unconscious, because there are so many messages you receive from your media about take this, drink this, eat this. And science, of course, is humble enough to call things theories, so things will change. They are not lying to you. Now, people who are trying to sell you products might be, but scientists are generally not lying to you because they are going with what they know best at the time that they know it. And as technology improves, then they find new things. Before they had microscopes, they did not know what was going on in certain things. So the scientists of the day were not lying to you when they tried different ways that failed disastrously to try to cure people. So, and all of them have missed something, and this will come in the future. It is already starting to come along. There will be frequency healing. There are already things like a Rife machine, which is close, not quite there, and healing musics and frequencies. And again, getting there, there is a few pieces and components that are missing, but eventually it will come. Eventually, you will see where everyone will agree. The people who are mind, body, spirit, these will converge. Well, we would like to offer you, again, this simple thing that sometimes when you do not feel well, whether you're, again, sick, whether you're hurting, it is time to take in and just love yourself. Love and appreciate yourself. We are going to take you on a little meditation. We want you to start at your feet. We want you to start at your big toe and move across to your baby toes. And we want you to feel into them. And we want you to send love to each and every one of those toes and thank them for what they have done. Now, they may not look the way you want them to. They may be too short, they may be too long, whatever the case may be. You may need to send love. You may need to send thank you. You may need to say, forgive me. You might have worn some pinch-toed shoes at some point in your life. Hmm, and then we'd like you to look at the ball of your foot. And again, sending love. Because without the ball of your foot, walking is very challenging. And then the heel of your foot. And again, love and the arch of your foot. You may have lots to say to your feet, so you can always come back and go through. And as we move through the body, you need not know the anatomy names, and we are not going to get specific on anatomy names, but just again, sending love to your feet, sending thank you to your feet, or asking for forgiveness. We are now going to move you to your ankle joints. Some people, again, like the looks of their ankles. Some people don't like the looks of the ankles. Some people have had problems with their ankles. Regardless of what the situation is, just sending love to those ankles, knowing that it would be hard to walk without ankles. And then we will move you up to the backs of your lower leg and the front of your lower leg. And again, take as much time as you need. And the sides of your lower leg. And just be grateful. Again, you might have issues with the way they look. They might be too muscled, not muscled enough. They might have pain. No matter what they feel like, say thank you, give them love, ask for forgiveness if needed. But sometimes you just need to ask for forgiveness because, unlike, well, we call your body a suit, unlike a space suit that astronauts might wear, or, use the term vehicle like a car, this has intelligence. This has emotional intelligence. Your body is emotionally intelligent. It is a wonderful being. It's almost like a separate being that you're wearing. It is conscious. It is aware. It listens to what you have to say. So when you say negative things, it takes it in. And like with your subconscious mind, it says, at your service. If you tell it it's ugly, if it doesn't, all those things that you might say. Now we're going to go to your knees, the front, the back, the sides, sending, of course, love, gratefulness, forgiveness. Your legs would not bend and extend, and again, hard to walk. without. They are very much a hinge, like on your door. Your door would not open and close without that hinge. The same with your legs would not move without that hinge joint. Now, you might find some sort of emotion comes up if you've had surgeries, if you've had injuries, and take mental note of that. And you might want to go deeper into that. You might have feelings from a different incarnation or a possible different timeline. There are multiple events and different versions of you. Every version you can think of, if anything's had a problem, there's some version of you somewhere that has never had that problem. Or you may never have experienced a problem, but you might feel something while you are focusing on your needs that might come up. And you might wonder why you feel what you are feeling. And then we're going to move to your upper leg, your thighs, as I referred to, the tops, the backs, the sides. And again, you know what to do. Send love, send gratitude, ask for forgiveness, especially if you've ever said they're too big, they're too small. And again, if there's any feelings other than ones that you are aware of situations of pain or discomfort, again, maybe, again, put a little note, put a little pin aside and notice and go deeper into that because, again, could be other timelines, past incarnations, even future, because time is not linear. And then your hip. We are going to look at the joint first, and then the musculature that works with the joint, the back, the side, the front of your hips. Many, many muscles that work with the hip. And again, give it love, give it thanks to the joint itself. It is what they refer to as a ball and socket joint. So unlike the knee joint, you have full range of motion. So think about how lovely that is, that you could lie on your back and you can move your legs around in a circle. Think of all the wonderful things your hips can do for you. You might think about the karate masters. You might think of gymnasts. You might think of all sorts of things that come up in mind. And again, without hips working properly, it's very hard to walk, which is very basic. And then let's move up to your abdomen. Now you have, besides the musculature, you have all sorts of goodies in that area. So you can take time and go through the intestines, large and small. If it comes to your mind, at the bottom, you have your genitalia. If you happen to be female, you have a bunch of things going on there. And again, this can be a very, very, very in-depth, long meditation. And then we will take you to the back of the body, the musculature, and thinking about all the wonderful things it has done for you. Keeps you upright. Again, walking is hard if you are bent over. You can breathe into areas. If you are feeling any tightness, any discomfort, you can always move your body. You can always just do what is necessary. You could even, at this point, focusing on the back of the body, focus on the kidneys and the adrenals, which are right on top. Again, take this as long as you need and listen. Listen to your body as you tell it you love it, you're grateful, you're sorry. And again, anything that pops up that really doesn't feel like it's part of your current reality or something that you remember from your own timeline and incarnation currently, again, wondering if it's a message of warning, possibly, like we need a little love and care, or whether it's from a past or a different timeline, to also help you feel gratitude. If you know that a different version of you has had experiences, you can be like, this may not look the way I want it to look. However, it has taken care of me, it has served me. We're going to move up through your shoulder blades. Please let your arms move about and the musculature in between the shoulder blades. Your shoulders can move upward as if you're shrugging. Your shoulders can move downward and lengthening out your neck. Your shoulder blades can move in towards each other and they can move away from each other. Quite a bit of movement. Now, this movement is coordinated with the bone in your upper arm. So, quite often, if the bone in your upper arm and your shoulder blade do not move together in the proper rhythm, this can cause problems in the shoulder joint, which is where your arm connects to your torso. And we are going to move around to the chest. And of course, in that area, not only the musculature, we have the heart. You can also be thinking about the chakras as we move as well. Anything that comes to mind, just send as much love, as much gratitude, and again, as much apologeticness as necessary. Really just focus what's important all the way down the arms, all through those wrists. There's many of you who suffer from carpal tunnel, often from overuse. And think about in your life where you feel overly taxed. So that maybe gives you a little bit of understanding because you may be looking at your carpal tunnel issues and thinking how unfair it is that you have this, especially if you have a job that requires you to use that and it impedes your using that. Or again, think of things in your life where you get overly used and you feel possibly unappreciated. Sometimes pain in the body, inflammations and itises are overuse without things that are focusing. Same with your elbow, tennis elbow. That's another area to look at when we move down the arms. Any of your joints, can be looked at, and they can tell you about what you are feeling, not just physically, but emotionally. There's a connection between your emotions and your body. Your body is affected by your emotions. Your emotions are affected by your body. It's a cycle and a circle. This is why we are focusing. This is why we are sending love and appreciation and apologies, and why we are taking the time for this. You can move up through your neck and throat if you are ready. And of course, we all know the thyroid. And we did, when we moved through the chest, skip the thymus, but the thymus is one of the most important master areas of your body. And you can spend time there if you wish. You can spend time in your thymus. You can spend time on your vocal cords. You can spend time on the neck itself, because often when those shoulder blades come up, there's tension in the neck. Your neck allows for a wide range of movement with a very small area. And as many of you know, when injury is caused here, when there's a breakage, it can shut the whole body down. And because the neck has the spinal cord running through it, and the spinal cord basically sends all the nerve impulses from your brain to your body. And when that gets interrupted, things do not work. And again, we will go with the walking. And then think about anything that goes on with your throat, your voice. Do you get a lump in your throat? Do you not speak your truth? Is your voice too high, too squeaky? All those sorts of things. And apologize. Take again as much time as you want, or put a pin in it and for deeper. And then moving up to the oral cavity. This is the gums, the teeth, all that sort of thing. A lot of times, until you have pain, you take this all for granted. So, sending lots of love. And also, once you do have pain, it does not let you forget. Oftentimes, we have sort of a scar and this skip, like you might have in a record or a CD, when you have had an incident of pain. Moving up through your sinus cavities. There's a lot to be said about the sinus cavities and also the ears, the labyrinths, all these things to be thankful for. Again, sometimes people have all sorts of things. These areas you will definitely have some pins to put in and go back and work through. And then we're going to go to the eyes. And again, lots of big feelings about eyes and vision. And we're going to go back into the brain, behind where your vision actually occurs. The eyes focus, they are lenses, but the real vision comes from a place in the back of your brain. And then, of course, we are going to move through the whole brain. Now, this could take us years to go through every little part, every little neuron, every little synapse, every little dendrite. There are so many things when it comes to our brain that humans tend to focus on. Is it enough, too much, not enough? Or your right side, left side? Are you all sorts of things? And again, focusing on thank you, loving, and whatever comes up. And again, if you've had issues, Remember that while this is mm, an intelligent suit, it is a suit nonetheless, where you're really, really, really connected is via source. Some people refer to it as soul. That is the most important part. So if you find yourself getting upset, just know that you are just taking time to lovingly work with your suit. That what is the most important part of you is not part of the suit. Just like when you take your car to the mechanic, you don't cry if something needs to be replaced, generally, until you get the bill. But you don't mourn for the replaced spark plugs. You don't necessarily care if your spark plugs, how they look, it's how they perform. Same with your battery, all sorts of things. And the body, again, that's we can love it, even if it doesn't look the way we wish it did. Some of you may wish to be race cars, and some of you may be practical station wagons. No matter what, you are experiencing all for source. This is what the body is there for. You may wish to go to your scalp and focus on your skin because it's all over. And many people have thoughts about their skin and rub all sorts of things all over it to try to make it different. So, once again, focus love, grateful, and forgiveness if need be. Good. Now bring yourself back into awareness of the room around you. And again, this is just a short little meditation, no music, that sort of thing, but just a way that you can look and processes you can do. For instance, if you were lying in bed recovering from something, or if you just take a moment in the morning or right before you drift off. Again, just going from toe to head or head to toe, it matters not. This can be a very good practice because, again, as you find different things, and you may wish to focus on different things, we left off the liver, the pancreas. There is so much in that suit that you might want to spend time with. You may focus on things that don't feel so good. You might go specifically to one part that we say as maintenance, just like you get oil changes and you put gas in your tank and do all the things that need to be done, rotate tires and such. This is the same, just going through, paying attention, because unfortunately, your warning lights that maintenance is needed usually come in pain or illness. We wish you good health and a long, 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 extremely long, happy life. Good day.